Okay, namaste, guys. Let me see where I was. Um, Sometimes you can tell when I'm really tired because my words sound all jumbled up and um my speech is slurry and you know I talk like I'm going around in circles, like repetitive talking also and stuff like that. Um, so this would have been one full video recording, but it's in two because like I said, I don't want to make them too long. I don't want each video to be too long. So I spoke on Jennifer Hudson and Tiffany Haddish, and the common ninja, because like I said, it's all in the name, that someone accepts and goes by. Everything is everything. I spoke on Tyler James Williams, such a fine and well groomed, I don't know, I don't think I want to say well groomed, just a very intellectual, you can tell, also very introspective, wise, young man. um I don't know why I call people my age young man, young woman, and be calling myself old. I guess it's really the energy, because like I've always felt mature, even when I was a little girl. I wanted to wash my own clothes, especially my underwear. I started off washing my underwear when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I realized, I just discovered, like, just a few minutes ago. I just was quickly doing some just a little browsing on YouTube. It's I don't even know why I do that, but I guess it's comforting sometimes. Keeps me occupied, and it's just comforting. But I just recently discovered that there is a term that's called Sigma empaths. So I never knew about that. I mean, I know that people can be Sigmas and empaths, at the same time, but I didn't know that they had an arrangement of words that it's just pretty much I do want to sleep. That pretty much just smacks everything into one. Um, so yeah, I am a Sigma and I'm an empath, so that makes me a Sigma empath, and so many other, you know, concepts, and things. And because I am empathic, but I've transcended past the level of just being empathic. I believe I've taken on a dark empath persona now, and not in a toxic way. I've watched videos on dark empaths before, but I can't really remember all the details. But I know it's like an empath who has, in my own words, um surpassed being manipulated by narcissists. I'm gonna stop using the word narcissist, because narcissist narcissism is an aspect of a psychopath. Okay, so you're not just gonna find somebody who's a lone narcissist. Okay, that person, there is a bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the they're a psychopath. Okay, so a dark empath pretty much has passed the stage and the level of being triggered, gaslit, and what a dark empath begins to do, which I see this in myself. after going through so much trauma, so encountering so many fucking psychopaths because of my natal chart and my life purpose, hence the life lessons, having to deal with so much psychopath and getting to know their nature and knowing their whole anatomy, not just on a physical scale or level, but a mental, psychological, emotional, and spiritual, even financial, on all scales. I get to know their anatomy, so I know how to disarm them. I know how to fuck with them because they like to fuck, especially with empaths, because they get their feed of energy, or they get their feed of energy by getting you to react. So what I do, a part of what I do, I try to get them to react before they try that shit on me, or when they try that shit on me, I flip the script. So instead of me reacting and giving them my energy and them feeding off of my energy like some fucking blood sucking vampire, but in that case it would be energy sucking vampire. I flip the script because I get I've seen them so often. I've gotten so used to, because they pretty much come up with it. They pretty much, all of them pretty much use the same tactics. It doesn't matter what nationality they're from, they're of, or they're raised. Let me just say ethnicity or whatever. It doesn't matter where they were grown, who they were grown by. They pretty much use the same tactics, okay? And it's very, ancient and outdated, but, they will never throw away those tactics because, toxicity cannot change. I mean, to get a certain result, you got to do a certain thing. So they will never change their tactics because they have to do things a certain way to get a certain response or result, and it is only people who are aware and who have been through the motions with these psychopaths who actually, discover their, weaponry, their tools, and their tricks and traits, and eventually by learning that, we learn how to disarm them. So yeah, I've always wanted, I cherish my freedom. Like for me, I literally prefer to be homeless than to be in a house where in which I feel, like I'm being confined or imprisoned or restricted, being myself and stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't like being put in a box, being told, what to do, what to do with myself, how to walk, how to talk, how to dress, just how to be, what to believe. I don't like any of that shit. Okay. And what else? So yeah, pretty much that's like a sigma for you, and like, I've said this before. I do music and blah blah blah, and I always, for years I've been wanting to get discovered by a label and get signed, and I'm glad that it didn't happen because as time progressed, I realized that people who are actually signed to record labels, they go through a lot of shit. I mean, a lot of times you see these, musicians, these entertainers, and and you think that, oh, it's so easy for them because they're already signed to labels, and they got money and they got this and that. But the industry, the entertainment industry, is one of the fakest. The entertainment industry and government industries are like the fakest industries ever. Okay. And I'm not gonna touch on the government, industry, the legislative, judiciary, um, and all of that. But let me touch on the entertainment industry. Um, to be signed by a record label, you have to sign contracts or a contract, and pretty much the contract is like a set of rules that one has to adhere to or follow to be affiliated with a person or a group. you know um so it is like marriage, but it is kind of worse, because whilst you can just easily quit on a marriage and just say, okay, I'm gonna get a divorce, and you go through with a divorce and blah blah blah, especially if you're not a wealthy person, who did not go through a proper prenuptial agreement. It is quite easy to get a divorce, compared to leaving a record label contract. So these people, they pretty much sign over their lives, their freedom, their comfort. So if you think that, okay, you can do whatever you want, you can sleep in whichever days you want and however long you want, and if you think that you can dress however you want, talk however you want, talk to whoever you want, you're making a sad mistake. Okay? And let me tell you something. That is one of the reason why I this is something that literally came to me, why Rihanna had to walk. She was forced to walk away from Chris Brown. She did not do that off of her own. I'm just saying. Okay, because her label forced her to do that for several reasons, but I'm going to tell you one. Because it had the her continuing a relationship with Chris Brown had a strong possibility of tarnishing her public image, or and overall her career and her success as a musician. So I think I did say this before. I don't remember which recording it was, that she pretty much sacrificed that relationship, and it was a sacrifice from the get-go. Plus other issues. So like I always say everything is everything. So everything is pretty much everything. It's not just one reason why that relationship didn't work out. There's the STD that I said, okay, that I mentioned, and then there is just the whole sacrificing of the relationship to give her give her clout and monetary success. Okay. And then here we find out, after all of that drama happened, she still wanted to remain in a relationship with him, but she was forced, because people were starting to drag her, saying that she was sending the wrong message to young girls, to women overall, specifically young girls. And her label forced her to do that, and if she didn't do that, they would have dropped her. They gave her an ultimatum: either you leave him or you get dropped. And she chose to stay with her label. She chose fame, a successful music career, over the relationship, over the love that she had for him. Okay. And that really goes to show you, she, like I said in the video, the recording part to this, at the end of the day, you choose what is most important to you. At the end of the day, you will always choose what is most important to you, whether that's your freedom, your peace of mind, money, whatever. So being in a record label contract isn't is it's like you have to be at a certain place on a certain day at a certain time. You cannot say, okay, you're not going to turn up, or there are going to be disciplinary actions. Okay, because these people, they invest in you, they're advertising your products, whether it's your music, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, they're out there seeking employment for you, seeking out festivals, shows, music shows, um all of that ish, for you to perform so you can make money, and they in turn also make money. Okay, they are also manipulating and pulling strings behind scenes so that you get nominated for awards, and so you win those awards. Okay, because that's more fame for you, more clout, and overall more money, and more money for them. So you don't think that you can, and you can dress how you want. They get you stylists to dress you. Okay, and um I'm trying to remember who said this. Oh, Donald Trump, was it Donald Trump? They said this, and some people may want to discredit what I'm gonna say because it was said by Donald Trump, and everybody, I mean, like, yeah, he's a douchebag, but that's not because somebody's a douchebag, meaning they never speak any truth. Everybody speak at least. Everybody has spoken at least one truth in their entire existence. Even the biggest liar has spoken some truth, or a truth, at some point in his or her life. Okay, you learn from people, whether they're fucked up or not. They can still teach you something or enlighten you. So he said something about, let me just paraphrase because I literally can't remember word for word shit. um he was saying, he said that she was talentless, and I'm not saying she's talentless. I'm not saying that. I guess I've said that before, um whether here or there, but he said that she was talentless, and if it were not for blah blah blah, plus and her stylist and blah blah blah, basically saying that she would be nothing. Okay, so that's another thing I want to touch on, because a lot of times these celebrities, they dress up and they go out, and people are like, oh, this person, they're so iconic, they're a a fashion icon, blah blah blah. And they that's why I say the industry, the entertainment industry, is one of the biggest illusions out there, because people are so so engulfed in the illusion that, and that's why a lot of these celebrities, they do sacrificial offerings, blood sacrifices, because like I mentioned about that, pastor, that guy who, was a pastor here in Jamaica, who was, killing people, doing blood sacrifices. He was doing it for the prime minister of Jamaica, for him to have this charismatic power and energy about him to influence and manipulate the masses in Jamaica. And since, a lot of shit went down, blah, 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 I literally noticed that, he has lost his charisma and his appeal, and people are now seeing him for the asshole that he really is, you know? um so a lot that's what that is why a lot of people out there, they are like, they literally cry when they see these celebrities. I mean, like, they cry when they're at their concerts. I mean, they're not even close to them, they're just in the same vicinity, but they don't even get to touch them, and they're like breaking down, they're so emotional, they're crying. And it's the power that these blood sacrifices give to these celebrities, charm, charisma, you know um magnetism, and it pulls people to them. Weak people, weak-willed people are easily manipulated, and it pulls them to them, and they become fans, stands, or fans, or whatever they call them. Okay, there's something you need to understand. But these people are so much drawn into these illusions that they don't acknowledge that these celebrities, they don't dress themselves. They don't dress themselves. They have their stylists who put stuff together for them. Especially, not only, but especially when they're going to major events or when it's a special occasion. Not limited to just those, but especially on those occasions. So, people don't acknowledge is that it's these stylists who are doing all of that. It's their taste. It's their good taste and their good eye for, detail and just fashion overall. Okay? So, that's that. So, over time, I mean, there's a pro in getting signed, because then you don't have to find your own money for studio time, for, the beats and or even the lyrics. The if you're not a songwriter, you're just a singer, a rapper, a performer, the label is in charge of pretty much everything. All you gotta do most of the time is just to be there, just be present. But outside of that, your life is not your own. And the more I thought about it, I was like starting to think to myself, I don't think I want to be signed to a label after all anymore, because I don't think it would work out well. I think, yeah, in the beginning I may feel appreciative and be like, oh, thank God, finally, I'm on my way. This is like a major step, blah blah blah. That's how it would seem. Making money, blah blah, turning up at these events. And then again, maybe it wouldn't start off good because I have like I said, I'm a Sigma empath. I like to dress how I want to dress. I want my hair to be how I want it to be, and that's in resonance with my spirit. So if say for example, I were to sign a record label contract, they may tell me to pull out my locks, perm my hair, get braids instead. They may tell me to lighten my skin. They may even tell me to do breast surgery, to get bigger boobs. They may tell me to, get BBL, to get a bigger butt, to have a bigger butt. They may tell me that I need to wear nail extensions and all of that. All the stuff that, I don't really like. I mean, like nail extensions, they look really nice and cute. But for me, the point where in which they damage the nail, that part I don't like. And then again, somebody's gonna say it depends on how you remove them. That determines whether or not your nails get damaged. But either way, it does take a toll on your nail bed, on your nails. So I think about stuff like those. I don't want them to tell me what type of jewelry to wear, because, I have a very eccentric taste. I don't like dressing or looking like, everybody else. I feel different, okay? And so I dress according to how I feel. Today I may want to just down and I look like a bum, like I'm literally homeless and have nobody who cares about me, and then tomorrow I'm like a princess. So I just like a princess or a queen, you know, or just a very or seductress, you know. So I don't want them to tell me, oh, let the stylist dress you. They'll dress you according to your body type and the image they want for you to portray. Let them do your hair because there's a beauty standard and there's an image they're trying to portray and project to get more sales. No, I think being put in a box, being confined, and not being able to do or move as how I want to, is just like the worst thing possible. So yeah, getting paid, that would be the nice part, but at what cost, so I feel like even if initially it would be cool and all of that, over time I would start getting really irritated, agitated, and just really miserable, and I just think that if it's a long contract, I would just like literally walk out of the contract and be like, fuck it. I might even get sued. So it is what it is. So when I thought about it, I was like, no, I feel like I just want to do my own thing and just put out my music, or become a ghostwriter, Then I will have, my privacy, because I don't like people, but I don't hate people, And being a celebrity, if you're gonna want to make money, be booked for shows, if you wanna, be loved by the crowd, even though you got the blood sacrifices, that's something I definitely would not be down with. um if you're just gonna go about it, quote unquote, a normal way, I like you said, I don't like people. So people are gonna I'm not gonna even say that, because even though I pushed away a lot of people, they always come back and they keep coming back. And it is like literally sometimes like I can do no wrong. It is so true. So I don't know, to be honest. I guess some people would be like, she's a real bitch. But then again, I tend to be really lucky, in terms of being the crowd's favorite. So I don't know. Because some people, they can be a bitch and literally get away with being a bitch. I think that's me. Yeah. So I mean, literally the only people I don't get away with that with are like the people I grew up with, supposed siblings, and a psych psychotic mother, and it's like I can tell that they're baffled and confused a lot of times, how people love me in spite of and despite of the nasty shit and lies that they tell people, and sometimes to me downright being a bitch, so I think they're confused, but it's just frequencies and energies, um you got people out there who they can be the sweetest and the nicest. People just repel them, just find them repulsive and just don't like them. It doesn't really matter what they do. Frequency and energies, it's just what it is. um Man, I always derail, but I hope you get what I mean. Freedom is so important. The Jeezy and the Jenny Mai. Like I said, in the previous recording, I'm gonna put the link below this video. So watch And listen, I haven't even gotten to listen over them recordings that I did um year before last. Um, but like I said, she's been using Jeezy. Okay, here how it goes. She's not a family type woman. She's not the type of woman who wants to, settle down and have kids. That's not her. She's one of them women who you would say is for the streets. Okay? She cares about attention, fame, money, uh what was that word that came to me? Uh she just cares about, her image. And it doesn't include her being a mother. Um but if it is gonna, boost her image, if it's gonna give her more clout, more fame, then she'll engage in procreation, which pretty much that's what she did. But um why I mentioned that is she never cared to give her, previous ex-husband, that's Freddie, I think his name is, any children. Okay, they broke up and he moved on and he got married again. I think he got married again. I'm not sure if he's married to the woman. And they've got children together. Um, I think he's the one who left Jeannie. Okay, or Jenny, whatever her name is. Okay, so she got with Jeezy. And I literally said this. I believe I said this in one of the recording. You see how quickly after meeting him and starting to date him that she got pregnant for him. You have to look at stuff like that. Okay, I tell you guys, I am psychology personified. I am a born psychologist. You don't gotta go to school to be anything. You're born with your gifts and your abilities that you're supposed to use to better the collective. And of course, monetize those gifts and abilities so that you can feed yourself and your loved ones. Okay? So look at psychology now. And it's the toxic ones, okay? Um Now because he got married, I don't know if it was shortly after they left or whatever and started, having kids, doesn't mean that he's a toxic one, okay? Because a lot of times the toxic ones, y'all get divorced and the toxic one rushes, to get married quickly again because they wanted to seem as though they weren't the problem because the mere fact that they can, wind up with someone else, someone new, they couldn't obviously be the problem. The mere fact that they are able to get married again, they couldn't possibly be the problem, which is very shallow. Okay? Um but I do not believe that was the case in Freddie's case. He really wanted, a family life, to procreate, engage in procreation, engage in rearing children, having a family. He's the family man type. Um Now, look at this. Why I always say spite does produce the worst karma. Um, she got with Jeezy because she was trying to spite Freddie. There was some commotion, going on 2 years ago. I don't about something that was posted or something. I think maybe I mentioned that in one of the recordings, okay? Um so that's how people started talking about her ex-husband and her, before she got pregnant with Jeezy, okay. um so I started putting one and one together and I realized, okay, she's still salty over her ex. When she got with Jeezy, and when I heard that she was pregnant, I'm like, wow. She had been with Freddie for years, never gave him any kids. Okay, he left her, got married again, I assume, and he got kids. And let me show you where the spite comes in. When she got pregnant for Jeezy, okay, that was a blatant, outright message to Freddie, saying that, it is supposed to make him feel disheartened and bad and down and inadequate, because they'd been together for years and she did not procreate with him. But yet, she just got with Jeezy, and all of a sudden, she was having his baby. So, toxic partners, they do that sometimes. Okay? What you've been asking of them, that they refuse to give to you. Okay? They quickly, after you put down your feet and decide that, what, I deserve better, and you walk away from them. This is a psychopath that I'm describing. They, in a bid to spite you, okay, will get with somebody who's got way lower values or worth than you, because somebody's worth is not tied to their bank account nor their net worth. It is tied to their morals, their values, their value system. Never you forget that. Okay? So you go and you get with somebody who has a low value system, okay? Who got a record and a string of, of baby mamas, okay? Who doesn't seem like he values family in any way, shape, or form. But you go, and that's the man you decide to get knocked up for. And that was supposed to make Freddie feel emasculated in some way, for the fact that she refused to build a family with him. But she was so quick to do that with someone else, and somebody of a way lower worth and value. And that is supposed to make Freddie feel like he's dirt, like he's scum, he's really nothing. Because if she's gonna quickly give somebody who don't really got much values going on for them, if she gonna choose to get knocked up by that person, what the fuck was wrong with Freddie? Why he wasn't worth that? But at the end of the day, you look at the brighter side of these situations, and you just be like, you know what? I'm glad she didn't have my baby. I'm glad we didn't have children together, because this is somebody who's really toxic. This is a psychopath. That person would have passed down that psychotic energy to my offspring. So it was a good thing, that person decided not to procreate with me, because then you'd have to deal with the karma of having a psychotic kid. Maybe that kid would have, when they get older, fucking kill you in one way or the other, So it was a good thing. You have to look at the brighter side of things, You have to. I don't know why some women, they know they're dealing with psychotic men, and, their way of handling the situation is getting knocked up by them, because they think that's going to make them faithful. You think that's going to make them, feel sorry for you and decide to be better human beings. No, it doesn't work like that. Because literally, psychopaths, they don't have feelings. Whatever supposed feeling you see them projecting, or, protrude, or exuding, I should say, are energies that they've pulled in from other people. Because they're energy vampires by nature. And it's just imitating, okay, and projecting. So They don't have feelings, so they will not sympathize for you or over you or whatever, and they will definitely not empathize with you because they don't know those stuff are foreign to them. They're weird to them. Okay, so they're not gonna. I was listening to this video today about not narcissistic mothers, and part of the, more than once the woman, would say, narcissists, they don't, you know you know the only way they'll change is if they, start looking at themselves, and which is pretty much introspection. But the thing is, they never do that. It's not a part of their characteristics or their nature to introspect. And so a narcissist pretty much never changes. A psychotic person never changes. There is no hope for them to change. So stop wasting your time, because change can only come through introspection. Change can only come from you realizing that something is wrong. And the only way you can realize that something is wrong in your behavior is by you introspecting yourself. And if you're not one to introspect, then there's no way you'll ever figure out that something is wrong or you did something wrong. Okay? So that was a very powerful, what she said, and I'll never forget. Okay? And that's why I always say I don't believe that people can change. I don't believe that. You only become more of who you are. Now, if you've done something bad, in your past, blah blah blah, if you've ever done anything bad and you find yourself, transforming and becoming this really good and beautiful and fair and balanced person, it simply means that those energies that, were not your own. You were doing those things, those negative things that you were doing. You were pretty much, someone was pretty much projecting those energies on you, or you were around somebody who had really nasty toxic energies, and you're like a Heyoka empath, and you pretty much pulled in those toxic energies and were pretty much acting in their image. But people never change. People just become more of who they are when they do change. So technically, it's like a paradox. People technically never change. Okay, so she did that to spite Freddie. On top of that, she was, like I said, everything is everything. A lot of things that happen, they happen as a result of more than one, situation. One, there's, a lot of things happen out of, you know, different, several and varying reasons. Some it could be just one, but for her it was like, her killing two birds with one stone. Manipulating him and using him for his money, his clout, and on top of that, she would be able to spite. She would be able to try and spite her ex. But I authentically sense and feel that Freddie literally doesn't give a shit or a fuck about her. I feel like, he realized and he accepts that she's just not a nice person. She's just toxic. And he just would never work out. And for him, I feel like if he does feel any type of way towards her and anyone who she dates or gets with, is pity for the other person. Yeah. Because once you know a psychopath, you cannot unknow them, and it's just what it is. Once they've been exposed to you, they cannot become unexposed. You cannot be put back in a box or in darkness where they're concerned. Okay? So that's that on that situation. I knew they were not gonna last. Okay? Literally knew it. I wanted to touch on briefly. I'm going to touch on some months ago when Rihanna started posting pictures of her son, because remember I told you guys that no, I didn't. I'm not sure if I said it on this platform, but I said it on one of my TikTok accounts, that she was, and it was in the form of a reading, that someone was hiding their baby because they think that their baby is ugly. And for months after she had that, she gave birth to that kid, she hit him. And it's not, like, I realize she's trying to project, she's trying to walk in Beyonce's image. I don't know if anyone has noticed that recently, which is why she's acting all secrety, which is, she's not acting private, she's acting secretive. There's a difference, okay? Since, for the past few years, okay? I mean, when you're obsessed with someone beyond measures, it's like you start taking on their persona. You start acting like them. You convince yourself that you are a certain way when you're not, and you find that you start living a lie. You know, so she came when she posted a video, whatever she posted, and people started calling the kid ugly. She was quoted on, and I think um she I feel like she reached out to that magazine to you know be in that magazine. Usually that's not how it goes, but I'm just for that specific instance, that's what I feel, because like she wanted to send a message to the world, and she was quoted as saying that her son, or was it on one of her social media accounts, that her son was fine or somewhat of that sort. And what I want to say about that, because it recently came to my consciousness, I think yesterday or the day before. um um I feel like, sometimes when I literally was talking about it a while ago, people lie to themselves so much to the point in which um they start deceiving their own selves. Okay, they speak out these lies, and it's supposed to convince not just others but themselves, they themselves. So I feel like when she came out and said that, I think she wanted to, I think she was trying to convince herself when she, I think she was a statement that she posted on social media. I think all of that was to try and convince herself, that he is indeed, that he is actually not ugly. I mean, like, when you don't believe something, or you pretty much don't care, you don't need to come out or justify anything or say anything. You can always tell when people are hurt about a certain thing because of how they react. I mean, when you are certain about a certain thing, you don't feel the need to convince anybody. You don't feel the need of, you know, saying a rebuttal or saying anything contrary to what is being said. You don't feel the need to, add to or reply. You know the truth within yourself. But I feel like, that's why I say I really get psychology. You know, you don't feel a need to add to or reply. You just let ninjas say whatever they want to say. But now when you reply or you add to or whatever, it's like you expose your hand. You expose that you actually are insecure a certain way. You actually within yourself believe that, and you're saying something quite the opposite because you're trying to, and you get this, this is a part of the manipulation that they have, which is why, a lot of times some of them, they speak, people listen, because they've been doing blood sacrifices. So when they come out and say, oh, he's actually not ugly, he's fine, people who are weak-willed, who may have thought he was ugly, will all of a sudden, start to not seem that way. So that's also a part of it. That's why I believe that that whole magazine thing and whatnot was orchestrated, because and also now flaunting the baby and blah blah blah. It's like to send a message that, okay, she actually doesn't believe that, and she believes quite the opposite. And in that, trying to prove people wrong, you actually prove people right, because once you know your truth, you don't feel the need to justify yourself. You trying to justify yourself or trying to say something, um, against what is being said, is like either you're guilty, or which would be the same thing, that people are telling the truth. So that literally just came to me the other day. Okay. Gonna have to do another recording because it's like 50 something minutes. Or maybe let me see if I can briefly touch on Alicia Keys and let me just say Mashonda first. Mashonda and Alicia Keys. I want to say it that way. Um, y'all noticed since the truth came out, in regards to Alicia Keys and Swiss Beat and Mashonda, his first wife. How Alicia Keys' career has been going downhill. Y'all noticed that, right? And it's because she portrayed this, seemingly empathic image in the get-go, and then only for people to realize that she's not so caring after all. She's not so considerate. She's this, she's that, blah blah blah. And it really took a toll on her career. Yeah, she may got money, and she's still getting money from her royalties, with from whichever label she's affiliated with. But in terms of relevancy and being desired, being desired um by others, I mean, it's going down. So yeah. So I don't think I want to elaborate much on that. I think there was something though that I really wanted to say in regards to Mashonda, but I don't remember. If I remember later on, I'll address it. Um. Oh yeah, just I think I kind of remember. Okay, so I think she did a song about blended family. Did she? I know. I think Mashonda wrote a book about it. But the song and the whole being a part of the book and all of that, and trying to she's trying to affiliate herself with Mashonda, so that to try to repair her image. That's why she's doing all of that. It's also that she can repair her image. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so Kenneth Perry, I really love Bashonda. She's so beautiful. And her son is so handsome. She's a very beautiful woman. Kenneth Perry, touch on him briefly. Now people be saying that Kenneth is broke. He's a broke thug and blah blah blah. But why did Nicki Minaj marry him? Blah blah blah. And I want to ask people why not. Okay. This man has street credibility, and I don't have to ask anyone. Um, oh yeah, I almost drifted off in a sleep, but I really need to go to bed now. Oh, I feel like a lot of people are calling him broke. Really don't know anything about him, and though I've never met him personally before, I I do know that he's got bags. So I don't have much to say about Kenneth Perry. You know, other than the fact that I know he got money. He's like some gang leader or something. How the fuck are you gonna say you don't got money? You know? You look like he probably is a drug kingpin, you know? Or kingpin or whatever they call him. So, anyways, I'm gonna just pretty much leave it right there. And I'm gonna add to this. Nicki Minaj knew exactly what she was doing when she got with him. Okay, like I said, this is a thug. Okay, most likely have killed people before. Okay, he got out. I know for sure. So guys, anyways, I'm off to my get some nap. I think I want to leave it right there.